I hope we can all see that.
Yeah.
You know, the um kind of like worship kind of backgrounds like on YouTube of like, the instrumentals kind of thing. So that's the kind of feel we're going for. And we're actually seeing that a lot of people are um, really into it. It is mostly for like the worship aspect. So the worship um is mostly for like the worships that we upload. I'm just going to show you all how to kind of do like a simple thumbnail, and obviously the wordings and the writing and stuff like that. The best way I can, and also how to edit the picture as well, like in case you wanted to edit the picture so it stands out more, or the writing so it's more prominent on the page. I do here, as you can see, this is a thumbnail that was already made. So what I'm going to do is just add a page so it's like a clear blank page, because we're gonna literally start from the beginning. So the first thing that I would want to do, ideally with the thumbnail, is okay, a picture. So we're going for more of like the nature theme based on the thumbnails that we're doing already. So you'll go to photos. If you have Canva, you'll go to photos and you can literally search anything. So first thing that will come to mind is nature. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find something that, okay, part of nature, something along the lines of the themes that are above. So obviously I can see landscape here, I can see trees here, I can see, yeah. So I can see landscapes here, I can see um trees and so forth. So one thing I want to do is obviously basically this within the same theme. So not something like rockets or galaxies, but landscapes, plants, floral stuff. I'm seeing one like this. So what you'll do is obviously choose a picture you want and then just drag it onto, oh gosh, you'll just drag it. If it doesn't work, you just press the three dots and then set it as background image, like so. And then let's say, for example, I'm not really feeling it. I want to take it off. You can press backspace to remove it, or you can press the click on the page, and this white box here will come up. Just press the three dots and then detach image from background if you want to just remove it completely. And then you can just delete it with the delete button. Um, but again, like going along with the theme. So I'm looking for something that would be like, oh, what's this? So let's say, for example, I'm gonna go with this rainfall theme because I think it's quite interesting. The side, which is on the panel here, go to text and press heading because it will be like the bigger font. And then I'll just type in capital letters, great are you, Lord. And the reason why it's in capital letters is because that's the same theme throughout all the other thumbnails. So I've got great are you, Lord, and I'll just make it bigger so it goes across the page. Oh, let me see my thumbnail, go across the page like so, and then just centralize it. And the thing with Canva is it gives you guides so you can centralize your writing, and it's actually really helpful because it ensures that everything is in place. Then I want to change the font because the font is different up here. And as you can see, this is in Arial, this is in Arial as well. So I'm going to change this to Arial. Although with thumbnails you can be creative, but I think we're trying to create kind of a similar what's it called, a similar theme, so it doesn't, so it's more uniform. But if you do see something like a font and you're like, oh, maybe this is a little bit of bold, then don't be rigid, you can be creative. And obviously you just kind of ask for a bit of guidance if you need it, if not, but I do encourage that you are creative. So we've changed it to Arial, and I see that okay, the writing is white, the background is not so, is you can't really read it. I can either change the color or the effect of the writing. So what I would do is go to effects and I can add a shadow. So a shadow allows me to add like something behind the text to make it more prominent. So you'll just, okay, so this offset is the direction in which the shadow is placed. Direction is obviously the right hand side or the left hand side or up or down behind the text. Blur is to make it more blurred. So it's not like the actual letters being like copied and pasted behind the word. So blur will allow you to blur it. So it's not too cartoon like. And then transparent is just how bold you want the shadow to be, as you can see. So if I make that black, now you can see the wording is standing out as compared to before. So I've done that and I'm like, okay, my word is coming out, but still I want it to be to stand out a little bit more. Then you can actually edit the picture on its own. So I'll go to edit photo, which will be like on your left hand side, and you can choose to filter it to something a little bit more dull. So the picture comes out more. So of course, like one of the filters you go to is cool because you want the cool tones to come out. And as you can see, it's more cool, or you can just play around with it really. I quite like this actually. Yeah, I quite like that, like the blue tone because the white is coming out. And if you want to make your text bigger, you can do. I'm just probably going to just separate the text so I can actually make this bigger like that. And then centralize my text. And then here you have spacing, so you can change the spacing between the sentences. So I just do number one because it allows a little bit of room for obviously each lettering to like each sentence to be well read, but you can move them closer together or further apart depending on like how you want it to be placed. But I'm going to keep it on one and then just make this bigger so it's a little bit more obvious what the title of the video is. So I'm just going to go back and reference like all these other thumbnails as well because I want to make sure that okay it falls in line with what we're trying to do. So as you can see, it has the title the title's here and then who it's by is below. So what I'll do is I want to know, okay, that's if obviously the thumbnails have been shared with yourself, like the design, but this is just to get you to kind of see how it works. So I want to reference my text based on what the text is underneath. So this is the artist, and obviously it was covered by Greystone Worshippers. So what I'll do is I'll create another text or add another text. You can add heading, subheading. It doesn't really matter which one you choose because you can just edit the text size, the font, however you want to. So I just still choose the same thing, which is heading. And if you know the art, like the person who wrote the song, then write it down. So I'll say by Sinach. And then in brackets, I'm gonna put covered. Oh, covered by Greystone Worshippers, like so. And then obviously change my font again, like that. And if I feel like, okay, this is nice, but I'm still not getting what I need, which to be honest, where it says the artist, I'm gonna add a shadow again because I want it to stand out, just like the title is. So I'll just make it stand out. But I still feel like maybe the picture, I can either change the picture and I'm like, okay, I want this to be more prominent, or I can just make the picture more dull so it falls in line. So what I'll do is obviously go to filters and I'll just play around with it. Just play around with it, have fun with obviously the creative process, and obviously not too much fun that it completely is different to how it's like how the themes and stuff is, but like also kind of putting into context like what you're trying to make as well. But have fun with it. So it's not a case where like we're just being rigid. But I'm gonna just play around with the filters to see okay which one looks better. Okay, I quite like the nimbus because it actually dulls it a bit more, but you can still see the beauty of the picture. And what I'll need to do as well is add the logo. So all logos that are added need to come from obviously the uploaded files. I see that the logo was not uploaded on the loaded files. So what I'll do is copy and paste. So copy and paste the logo. But let's say, for example, I want to add like social media because obviously JM Liberation has social media handles. So what I'll go to elements and the social media handles that obviously I would want. So when I say handles, I mean like the icons. If I want to add Instagram, I'll put Instagram. And obviously they give you a whole load of graphics of all the different kind of media and icons you can use. Sometimes I use this one because I find it that is a little bit more prominent if I want just minimalistic look, or if we want a bit of color, you can add obviously what the color of the actual icon of the social media platform that you want to put on, or you can do a little bit of more of a sleek look and just do it as the icon like border. I'll probably go for Instagram, and then before I minimize it, if I want um more icons, I'll probably like type up other social media platforms and match them up as much as possible so they look uniform. So it's not a case whereby like maybe you have Instagram and Instagram looks like this, the first one we chose, and then you choose YouTube and then the YouTube you're choosing is this, because it won't be uniform. So just ensure that whatever one icon you use or choose, it's in line with each other. So the reason why I said not to minimize it just yet is because just want to ensure that, okay, when I minimize it, I'm able to ensure that both icons are the same size. So what I do is I minimize the first one and then place it where I want to place it. Then this one, the bigger one, okay, hold on, let me move this up. So I'll move this up as you can see, and let me change the color so it's more prominent. So I've changed the color to that. And usually some of them you can change the colors. So it's in line with the theme of the colors that you have. And then it's there. So then I'll move up the bigger one, line it up to the top of the smaller one. Because when you move it, you'll be able to line them up according to size. So you see how I did that? So the top of that is the same as the smaller one, like that. And when the purple line goes through both of them, it means that it's literally the same size. And one thing that I do, like if it's a case where, oh, I don't want to move them one by one, it's long. So what you do is you press the background because the background can be moved, and you press this lock at the top so it locks the background. So then whatever image or text or um icon, whatever you want to use. So if I wanted to be careful of obviously the placement of the text as well, I will lock the text as well. So it's not caught when I highlight the icons. Because when you highlight the icons, you can group them and then move them to where you want to place them. And you can press group to permanently group them, or you can just highlight them to temporarily move them to where you want to place them as well. So yeah.